I don't talk about this often. Honestly, I try not to even think about it. But some nights, when it's quiet enough to hear the house breathing, I swear I feel him again, watching me from the shadows. The same corner, the same silence, the same stillness that nearly broke me. It started 4 years ago, after my divorce. I was emotionally wrecked and desperate for a change, so I moved into a one-bedroom apartment on the top floor of an old building downtown. It wasn't much: stained carpets, flickering hallway lights, a strange smell like old paper and mildew. But it was mine, a clean slate. The first night felt uneventful. I unpacked a few boxes, made some tea, and collapsed into bed. But I couldn't sleep, not really. The radiator hissed like a snake, pipes groaned in the walls, and then there was the light, an orange glow from the street lamp outside, slicing through the blinds and casting long bars across the room. They landed right on this one spot, the corner between the closet and the bedroom door. It was darker than the rest of the room, not just shadowed, deep, like it absorbed the light around it. The next morning I woke up groggy. As I stumbled into the room with my coffee, I saw my cat, Milo, crouched by the wall, completely still. His eyes were locked on that corner, tail twitching slowly, ears flat, not moving an inch. I called his name. Nothing. I clapped. Still nothing. He just stayed there, like he was watching something I couldn't see. Eventually, he backed away, one slow step at a time, before darting under the couch. Cats are weird, I thought. Probably just some dust floating around or a noise I couldn't hear. But later that day, I noticed the closet door slightly open. I always keep it shut. Always. And it wasn't just a little ajar. It looked like it had been gently pulled open a few inches. I closed it again, firmly. That night I made sure to shut it tight before going to bed. I even pressed against it to be sure it latched. Still, I barely slept. The air felt heavy. And again, that corner, dark, deep, and silent, felt like it was watching me. On the third night, the dreams started. I dreamt I was lying in my bed, just like real life, except I couldn't move. I was completely paralyzed. In the dream, there was someone in the corner, a man, sitting on the floor with his knees pulled to his chest. His face was pale, but I couldn't see his eyes. He never moved. He just stared. When I woke up, my sheets were damp with sweat. Milo was nowhere to be found until I checked under the bed. He was there, trembling. That same dream repeated the next night. But this time, the man in the corner wasn't sitting. He was crouching, still unmoving, still silent, but his head was tilted a little further than before, like he was listening to me breathe. On the fifth night, things escalated. In the dream, the man was at the foot of my bed, still crouched, still staring. But now, I could see his face. It was expressionless, no emotion, no curiosity, just blank. Like he wasn't a person at all, just a shape mimicking one. I woke up gasping. I checked the room immediately. Closet closed. No sign of Milo, no sign of anything. But as I stood to go to the bathroom, I noticed something on the floor. Wet, bare footprints, human-sized, leading from the corner to the edge of my bed. There had been no rain, no guests, just me. I needed reassurance, so I invited my sister over that weekend. I didn't tell her about the dreams or the footprints. I didn't want to sound insane. I just needed someone else to be in the space. We were sitting in the living room chatting over coffee. Then she stopped mid-sentence and looked past me. Her eyes locked on something behind my shoulder. "Is someone staying with you?" she asked, her voice suddenly flat. I turned. "No." "Why?" She pointed toward the bedroom door. "I thought I saw someone standing in the corner, like really tall, just for a second." She tried to laugh it off, but I could see the unease on her face. And the more I stared into the hallway beyond the door, the colder I felt. A few days later, my friend Colin asked to crash on my couch for a few nights. I welcomed the company. The first night, he joked about the cold spots in the apartment. He said the whole place felt like it was holding its breath. The second night, I caught him standing in the hallway, staring into the bedroom. When I asked what he was doing, he just muttered, "He doesn't like me." I pressed him, but he wouldn't elaborate. On the third night, I woke up to a scream. Colin was on the floor in the living room, curled into a ball. His eyes were bloodshot. He was sobbing, shaking. "He's in the corner," he whispered. "He keeps asking me questions, but I don't understand them." The next morning he was gone, packed his stuff before dawn. He never returned my calls. I needed proof. I set up my phone to record myself sleeping. I wanted to convince myself it was just stress, just bad dreams. But when I reviewed the footage the next morning, at exactly 3:12 a.m., the screen glitched. Static lines blurred across the frame. The sound turned into this low, distorted hum, and then for 3 seconds the corner of the room was occupied, not just shadow, a shape. A tall, crouched figure, motionless. And then the screen cleared. I deleted the footage, not because I didn't believe it, but because I did. The following night, I woke up in the dark. The lamp I had bought to light that corner had shut off again. I had changed the bulb twice that week. I turned it on, heart racing, and that's when I saw it. All the framed photos on the wall were turned around, every single one, facing the wall like someone or something had deliberately twisted them out of view. I put them back. The next morning, 3 words were carved into the drywall near the baseboard in the corner. Let me stay. I stared at it for a long time. The cuts were deep, rough, like fingernails had scraped it out. By now, I was unraveling. Sleep-deprived, paranoid, isolated. But then came the mirror. I was brushing my teeth late one night, staring into the bathroom mirror. My reflection looked tired, hollow, and then it froze. For a full 2 seconds, it didn't move with me. I blinked. It didn't. I dropped the toothbrush and backed away. The mirror fogged up, like someone had leaned over my shoulder and exhaled. And slowly, finger by finger, a message appeared on the glass. "He's inside," I screamed. Left the apartment that night, drove until sunrise, slept in my car in a supermarket parking lot. I sought help. I wasn't sure if I was losing my mind or if something else was happening. The therapist was kind, grounded. She said it could be grief, trauma, or something called a hypnagogic hallucination. She told me I wasn't alone. On the second visit, she paused mid-session. "Ahad," she said slowly, is there someone else in the room with us?" I froze. "No," I whispered. She stared past me, into the corner of her office. Her hands trembled slightly. She didn't finish the session. I never went back. I don't remember everything. I just know I was in bed, awake, and I saw him. Really saw him. He wasn't crouched anymore. He stood tall, thin as wire, bones visible under pale skin. His mouth stretched slowly into a smile, but there were no teeth, no tongue, just black. He didn't approach. Instead, he raised one hand and pointed at me, and the world went silent. No sound, no wind, not even the hum of the street lamp. My limbs turned to lead. My breath stopped. My mind emptied. I don't know how long I lay there, but when I woke up, I was on the living room floor. The bedroom door was closed. The lamp was shattered. I moved out the next day. I didn't pack much. Just grabbed what I could fit in a suitcase and left. I don't know who lives there now, but I can tell you this. I've moved twice since then. I keep every corner of every room well lit. I don't own mirrors. I don't sleep without background noise, and yet, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and feel him there again. Not in the room, not in the house, inside. And every time I close my eyes, I wonder if I'll open them to find him standing in the corner again, waiting to be seen.